G'day, that's me, Roger of Oz, and on my right is Louis of NZ, or New Zealand, or a Kiwi as we like to call them. Louis is a crop duster pilot who runs Skycam New Zealand. He's decided to come on a flyaway with some of our friends to see if he can get lost. You see, New Zealand pilots have trouble getting lost. You go to 3,000 feet in New Zealand and not only can you see one side of the island, you can also see the other. So come along with us, sit back, enjoy the trip. Welcome to Broken Hill.
Welcome to Broken Hill.
Now Broken Hill is where our trip starts. It's where we're actually meeting up with our friends. Broken Hill is 500 miles west of Sydney, so we've already done 5 hours in the plane. Broken Hill was also known as a big mining town 50 years ago. It was well known for its silver, its lead, its zinc, gold and many other metals, but it's pretty much considered these days as the beginning of the Outback. Well, here we are looking out over the beginning of the Outback at a tiny little place called Silverton. There's the hotel. It's about 30 miles out of town of Broken Hill. It's used very much by film companies these days, television, commercials, all sorts of things. This poor little hotel has had more names than anybody else could think of. In fact, there's quite a few famous ones here. We'll just let you have a look. Well, nothing like having a good barbecue with friends, a few cold beers, and one thing about Broken Hill, you're going to get a bloody good sunset.
Heading road trains west of the Warrego River, pegging in the lignum on the Baku, drilling for oil in the Strzelecki Desert, shipping the wool clip out of Pakataru. Flagging the roads of the wee war cotton, running the mob out the back of my rear. 14 hours on a Blackwater drag line, 8 days a week and 50 degrees. It's a tough job, mate. Someone's gotta do it. It's a tough job, mate, but it's gotta be done. We put in the hard yakka, work up the sweat. The harder you work, the harder it gets. It's a tough job, mate. It's a tough job, mate. Like top this, packing down in the scrum on the sudden death semi, waiting for the bell on a saddle bronc ride. Yeah, ringing a shed out west of Menindee. Call it's just another day of a hard-working life. It's a tough job, mate. Someone's gotta do it. It's a tough job, mate, but it's gotta be done. Put in the hard yakka, work up the sweat. The harder we work, the harder it gets. It's a tough job, mate. It's a tough job, mate.
Well, here we are in Arkaroola, South Australia. We've left New South Wales, crossed a part of Victoria, and now we're in South Australia. In the Flinders Ranges, Arkaroola is the home of the world's oldest rocks.
We go digging and driving, sweating and striving, grease and diesel, steel and sweat. It's a tough job, mate. Someone's got to do it. It's a tough job, mate, but it's got to be done. Put in the hijacker, work up the sweat. The harder you work, the harder it gets. It's a tough job, mate. Someone's got to do it.
Over the last 100 years, so it doesn't fill very often at all. Main reason being it hasn't got a major river system running into it at all. It's mainly just drainage off these mountains, and that's about it. So that happens pretty rare. Last time it actually filled was in '89 when we had a major flood. Previous to that was in the mid-70s, and previous to that was in the 50s sometime. So yeah, it's pretty rare to see it fall.
Is that it's hard enough at the moment to drive on because we saw car tracks on it?
Yeah, some people drive on it. Yeah, you got to be careful though. If you
That's what
break
we were
through, you're
wondering.
knackered.
That's what we were wondering how they can be sure.
Yeah, you're not. So you got to be careful. Yeah. This trough ran all the way down past Adelaide. Sorry, just went whacked in the face. And all the way down into Kangaroo Island, even into Antarctica, because we were actually joined to Antarctica at that stage. And this trough, over millions and millions of years, filled up with layers and layers of sediments. Over millions and millions of years. Now they measured it at one point, and it was 20 kilometres deep in one point. It was a massive trough. Now, about 450 million years ago, that trough got pushed back together again. And now, as it got pushed back together, all that sediment that was inside just got warped and twisted and pushed and lifted up. And that's what we see here today. There's all the mountain ranges, basically was flat-lying sediments, just been pushed up on edge, twisted and warped. And so since it happened about 450 million years ago, they reckon that most of the rocks are between that age and about 900 million years old. Give or take a few mil, it's a bit of guesswork. That's about it. But from Mount Oliphant North, where we're standing and where we're going to move in today is a complete different story. The rock we're standing on is about 1,500 million years old, and we're going to move into areas which are up to 2 billion year old rock, which is basically twice the age of any of that sedimentary stuff. And it's not sedimentary rock, it's more metamorphic and igneous rock, which means it's been heat altered and there's been a lot of volcanic activity through this region. There's been like granite intrusions, boiling hot mud pools, hot springs, basalt flows, all this sort of occurring in this region. And it's all been exposed for us to enjoy, all geologists.
It's a tough job, mate. Someone's got to do it. It's a tough job, mate, but it's got to be done. Come on and put in the hijacker, work up the sweat. The harder you work, the harder it gets. It's a tough job, mate. Yeah, it's a tough job, mate. It's a tough job, mate. Oh, someone's got to do it. It's a tough job, mate. Like a flagging. It's a tough job, mate. Come on, son, get in there and do it. It's a tough job, mate.
Take it for you.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to
Thank
the
you.
meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, cheers to you.
Thanks, Neil. You can be our welcome committee on all trips.
Yeah.
You been here before?
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
it is, isn't it? It's
I just
terrific.
can't believe it.
It's terrific.
Somebody said to Ray on the radio on the way in, can you tell us when you get to the White Hill? She said to me, which White Hill?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's, the landscape is like a moon, isn't it? There's all
Yeah,
these
incredible.
hills everywhere.
But even coming here,
Yeah.
it's just nothing.
Yeah,
But what I couldn't imagine is it looks like glass on the ground as you go
That's
over, you
right.
see it shining all the time.
Mechanic.
yeah, that's right. It does look like that.
Well, here we are in Cooper Pedy. Of all the opal mining towns in Australia, there's none quite like Cooper Pedy. It's got a population of about 4,000 people consisting of 45 different nationalities. It's not too wet there either. Gets about 140 millimetres a year, which is 5.5 inches. So I wouldn't be rushing out to order any floats just yet a while. And Cooper Pedy gets its name from Kuba, meaning boy, and Pedy, which is Aboriginal, which means a hole or a rock hole. And with temperatures going up in the summertime of 50 degrees Celsius and sometimes up to 60 degrees Celsius, That's, 120 degrees Fahrenheit, up to 140 degrees. It's no wonder that over 80% of the people of Cooper Pedy live underground. You've got underground hotels, motels, you've got underground churches, you've got underground everything.
Have you ever been down a hole, pushing hammer, no daylight, just a candle, swinging cold steel? Did you ever get a Fago without a struggle? Then you're a miner, you're a miner, you're a miner. Oh, the red lights still flicker.
Right, so you do get that little bit of dust on your fingers. Normally when we dig an underground home, we do spray the walls with stuff called lotcrete, which is like a clear varnish, or aquadeer mixed with water, which is a wood glue, or a lot of people do spray paint the whole thing white, and that helps transfer light into the back of sections, because once you get a well-constructed dugout, you turn the lights off and it's black. It really is black. Believe me, you stuck your toes quite a bit. Yeah, see if you want to drink a shot this year, exceptional. So the hill underground does warm up. Now everybody has experienced higher temperatures underground, but it's still cooler underground than what it is outside.
Cool. What's your outside temperature in summer?
This month I registered 62, but the little sensor was sitting on the concrete floor. Exaggerated heat a bit, but it just gives you an idea. It does get bloody hot.
This is Harry's home inside here. Yeah. If any of you young ladies are interested in stopping for a while, Harry's always liking to adopt another daughter.
Not enough.
Only we have to tell Harry looking but not touching.
And no visit to Cooper Pedy is complete unless you visit Crocodile Harry. This wonderful old lecher has his walls festooned with the addresses of girls he claims to have seduced. He declares himself as to be an Avrid von Blumenthals, a Latvian baron who was forced to leave his country after World War II. Who's going to argue with him?
'Cause times are changing, it's almost over. If you're a miner, you're a miner.
And if some of this looks familiar to you, you've probably seen it in Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, Priscilla Queen of the Desert, or Pitch Black.
Although you can't call yourself a decent opal miner until you're blasted one good pocket of opal. Right, so normally what you do, you keep your drive about 4 to 5 feet wide, about 6 feet high, depending how tall you are. Dave was always very expensive to work with because he was much too handy if you're short. So these holes would go in about 4 feet normally. What you do, your middle one, that's about half depth. I used to use an 8-shot pattern. Harry here's got a 9-shot pattern here. Your middle one, as I say, about half depth, that's your opener. That one's got to come out, otherwise the rest of your shots are not going to. So you drill it up, you load your explosives up in there, and then using a fuse lighter, you light the first fuse. You're using safety fuse, so you've got about 1.5 minutes to get out of the place. Mines departments say you have to make your fuses at least 6 foot long, but of course no. Well, we're all very law abiding up here, so no one would dream of cutting anything shorter, but it's a pity to waste 18 inches of good fuse still. So normally you cut them just long enough to fit out the end of the drive, and that's still the end of the hole. It still gives you plenty of time to get out of the way. So your middle one you light first, then your 2 side ones, then your bottom ones, or your middle one here if you're using this shot pattern, then your 2 end ones, and then this middle one here and these ones here, and then you get well out of the way. Normally duck well around the corner. You wouldn't bother to climb up the top of the shaft because you don't have time, so you just get out of the way, and providing you're not in a direct line of sight, you're pretty right. Although when the first shot goes off, it's awful loud. After that, they get much softer. But you can see the dust particles vibrating in the air as each shot goes off, so quite loud. After you've shot, most of the miners use a blower, which you would have seen out on the field. We'll see a few more on the way out. They're huge vacuum cleaners that just suck the rock up from down below. And you turn your blower on, suck the fume. The great thing is they suck the fresh air in straight away. Turn your blower on, it's like watching a genie come out of the bottle, only in reverse. All these noxious fumes that come off the blast, they just suck straight up the blower pipe. And then you come in, hopefully you've got a hole going in here about 4 to 5 feet in, and your level just sitting there. And then with a pick, you just very carefully pick it down. As you're going, you're just dreaming of that big bit of opal. It's only 6 inches further in. Once you finally finish that, you drill up again a next set of shots, and the exciting thing is you never know, literally you never know when the next shot, Oh look, I love the opal mining, not for the thought of making money, but because when you see it there in the wall, it is so beautiful, there's nothing like it. Especially when you see that whole face full of opal, it's just nothing like it.
He's obviously seen it.
A couple of times, but not recently enough, unfortunately. That's why I'm driving the bus at the moment. However, if any of you want to invest in a good opal mine, I've got an excellent spot.
You got a deal.
I can guarantee you there's opal there, I'm just not exactly sure where. And then, of course, as I was saying earlier, that's one of the exciting things about the opal mining. These levels normally come about 6 feet apart, so there are actually a couple beneath us and a couple on top. You always hope you're working the right level, but there are so many stories of miners who work like crazy in a place, dug it out entirely, and they've left it a few inches up in the ceiling or a couple of feet down in the floor. And you've got to be a bit philosophical about it. You don't worry about the one you left behind, you keep dreaming about that one that's 6 inches in the wall with your name written on it.
Why the heartache? Load your wheelbarrow, 'cause times are changing. It's almost over. If you're a miner, you're a miner, you're a miner.
And as we head out over a place called the Breakaways, it's not so long ago Val Kilmer was stumbling around there making a movie called Red Planet.
You're a miner, you're a miner, you're a miner.
Well, here we are finally in Central Australia, and here we're looking at Ayers Rock, more recently known as Uluru. It's a huge monolithic rock of 350 metres out of the ground, that's 1,100 feet, and it's over 8 kilometres or 5 miles around. And it appears to change colour in the evenings, and that's generally due to the sandstone infused with minerals like felspar. that reflects the red light of sunrise and sunset, and it makes it appear to glow. And the rock gets its rusty colour from oxidation. There goes the Kiwi, and coming up behind him is Mick. Mick's flying the twin Seneca, but it's pretty steep, so he's having a rest. It's not a bad view here, we're only a third of the way up, and what a view it really is. Yay, he made it! Yay!
Next time you put your hand on the throttle and expect it to do 1,000 feet a minute, appreciate it.
Get out and mix it with the flies.
Ah! Dear idea.
I'm looking for grass in the gear.
Oh yeah? You didn't have your gear down, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but I still thought he'd pick some up.
That was the hoop, wasn't it?
That looks good, mate.
Does it look alright?
Oh, yeah. Nothing's more sexy than a twin with its gear up going to a low run. That's morning. That just about brings you out. You've got to drop it out and give it a little tissle, you know what I mean?
You notice, just pull it up and just look at the top. 100 knots come up and boom, pop the gun off.
No, nothing's more horny than your retracts folded. It's got to be
They look good.
Well, here we are after a rested night at Ross River Homestead after much bullshit and beer, but nevertheless we're fueling up for our crossing of the Simpson Desert, heading eastwards towards home. The crossing over the desert's about 4 hours, and once we get to Birdsville, we'll be doing an overnight there, and then it's a short home run of 1,000 miles back to Sydney.
My life's a game, and I played wrong. Nothing's the same since you've been gone. I bid farewell when love is lost. Turn away and count the cost. I have a red desert sky. It's just another red desert sky. I'm in a dream I'll never leave. You want something I'll never be. I still have my red desert sky. I need you to save my life from a world I can't survive. You felt it was time to leave in a way I can't believe. I have a red desert sky. It's just another red desert sky. I'm in a dream I'll never leave. You want something I'll never be. I still have my red desert sky. You want something I'll never be. I still have my red desert sky.
Well, I just left Charlie's Cafe, and this girl that was going my way, well, I got to say, she had most redheads beat. We told jokes, she stayed in laughter. I thought fun was all she's after. Then she spoke to me in words I can't repeat. She stood up, said, let's be going, and the things her clothes kept showing made it hard for me to keep my sweet talk down. So I left that situation, headed for my destination, 'cause it's your sweet lovin' that keeps me homeward bound. Now you men may think I'm lying, well, it's not for want of trying. For the things I've said, you'll think my mind's unwound. 'Cause I found it's not how many, the right one can be a plenty. And it's your sweet lovin' that keeps me homeward bound. Now you girls don't excite me, have no fear that you'll find me. But it's look, don't touch, 'cause I know what I've found. There's no chance there'll be a right time, 'cause I'm all tied up at night time. It's your sweet lovin' that keeps me homeward bound. I'm so glad I'm not still looking for someone to do my cooking or to fill my needs at night when I lay down. Now my plane has made its landing on your runway, there it's standing. And it's your sweet lovin' that keeps me homeward bound. Once around the waterbed, well, now I'm so glad I'm not still looking for someone to do my cooking or to fill my needs at night when I lay down. Now my plane has made its landing on your runway, there it's standing. And it's your sweet lovin' that keeps me homeward bound. Now my plane has made its landing on your runway, there it's standing. And it's your sweet love that keeps me homeward bound.